Okay, let's talk about a huge shift that's happening right now in the creative space. For decades, right? Editing a picture meant you had to be a wizard with all these complicated tools. But now, AI is stepping in and promising to just boil all of that down to a simple click and a couple of words.
I mean, you've been there, right? We all have. You just want to make one tiny change to a photo, and suddenly you're drowning in this sea of toolbars and layers and menus you've never even heard of. What should have been a quick fix turns into this massive, frustrating project.
Well, that exact frustration is what this new wave of tech is trying to wipe out completely. So we're going to look at how this whole new approach works, and we'll use a perfect example, an AI image editor that totally rethinks how we even talk to our images.
So what is this thing, really? At its heart, it's a tool that lets you command the software using just plain English. I mean, instead of clicking on a dozen different icons, you literally just type what you want. All that complexity gets moved off your screen and into the AI's brain, so to speak.
And that brings us to the really cool part. How does it actually work? Well, the entire system is built around one incredibly simple concept: the power of a prompt.
This right here is the central promise. The idea that these powerful edits are no longer locked behind years of technical skill. Nope. They're tied to your ability to just describe what you want. And that flips the whole experience on its head. It makes your creativity the focus, not the tool.
Let's get really specific for a second. Think about removing the background from a photo. Traditionally, that meant painstakingly tracing every single edge, every little hair. It was a nightmare. Now that's considered a powerful edit that you can pull off just by typing "remove the background."
So the whole point is how incredibly simple the workflow becomes. It really just boils down to this three-step dance. You upload your picture, you type your command, and you get your result. It's just a brilliant way of tearing down that technical wall that stands between you and your final image.
But of course, running this kind of powerful AI isn't free. You might be wondering, okay, so how does the business model work? Well, it all comes down to something called AI credits.
So the first thing you see is just a number, 35. It's clean, it's simple, but what on earth does it mean?
That number, 35, well, that's a number of AI credits. And you can pretty much think of these credits as tokens at an arcade, right? They are the currency of the system. They're the fuel that you use to power every single edit.
And here's where it all clicks into place. Every single time you perform one of those powerful prompt-based edits, it uses up 35 of your AI credits. It's a super simple transactional model. One action has one fixed cost. That's it.
All right, so let's pull all this together and really focus on the main takeaway here. What does a tool like this actually mean for anyone who has to work with images on a regular basis?
Okay, so if we boil it all down, it really looks like this. The problem we all face, traditional editing, is just way too complex. The solution? An AI that gets what you want from simple text prompts. This turns really hard tasks, like background removal, into a simple, typed-out request. And the business side is just as simple: a clear per-edit cost with a credit system. The whole idea is to simplify everything, from the buttons you push to the way you pay for it.
So this all leaves us with a really big question to chew on. As these prompt-based AI tools get even better and, more common, are we watching the beginning of the end for complex software? Could those toolbars, packed with icons that we've spent decades learning, finally become a thing of the past? That is a fascinating thought about where all of this is headed next.